Hello everyone, welcome to another video on the channel, welcome to another GT Sport opinion / information piece, and in this one we are going to explore the difference in tyre wear between the pad and the wheel. Is it really a big difference, or is it all a bit of a myth? So it's probably one of the most common things I read either in my own comment section, other GT Sport comment section, other GT Sport streamers, stuff like that, is that when you're using the pad in tyre wear races you're at a massive disadvantage. Now I've always used the wheel while playing GT Sport and have very little time on the pad, so I couldn't really form a valid opinion myself, so I thought why not do a little bit of a test, see how big a difference it is, and then put it into a video. So the car we've chosen to do this test is a heavy boy. We're using the Camaro ZL1, but we're also going to sort of reduce its power just to make it a little bit more manageable to handle, but also increase its weight. So it's nearly 2 tons in weight. That means it's going to burn through those tyres pretty quickly. And the track we've chosen is the Kyoto Park Miyabi. It's just a small track, just a 42-second lap, but there's not a whole lot of corners on it, so the difference between my lap times on the pad and the wheel shouldn't be too substantial, but there is enough corners there, and long corners that will work the tyres very hard and get that tyre wear going. So the test is very simple indeed as we jump on board here with the pad running. I'm just going to drive out the pits. We're on racing soft tyres. We have tyre wear set at ×10, fuel set at ×1, just so we can make the car even heavier. Obviously the addition of the fuel makes the car 100 kilograms heavier at the start, so it'll be well over 2 tons now, the car. So again, that additional weight will just help us work our way through the tyre wear. And what we're just going to do is we're just going to drive this circuit in the Camaro until we burn through one of the tyres completely, right through to the red. So once all the white's gone on one of the tyres, and in this example here it is the front left, most of the corners are being right hand corners, means the left hand tyres are working the hardest. Turn 1 in particular, a very long right hander, all the loads on the front left tyre as the car tries to understeer into oblivion. Being 2 tons, not too much of a surprise, but yeah, we'll just keep driving round until we have no wear left whatsoever on one of the tyres. It does take around about 11 to 12 laps, so we won't watch every lap of course, but what we will do, and I felt the need to do just to make sure everybody's kinda can see that it's a legit run and I've not just done something else, is we just will fast forward through all the laps. So as I said earlier in the video, I got very little running on the pad in GT Sport, but the implementation of the pad in the game is so good that it does feel pretty natural to just jump on. We'll just use exactly the same braking points for both the runs on the wheel and the pad, using the same gears for all the corners as well, so that just means we can keep everything as evenly as possible as we can. I'll do my very best not to slide the car on the pad, a little bit harder for me than the wheel of course. But we're now approaching the end of the fast forwarded footage. Hopefully it's not giving you too much of a headache and you're still on board here with us. We're just about to sort of approach the point of no return for the tyre, and we'll sort of return here to normal speed footage as we complete lap number 10. So it does look like the end for that front left tyre is fast approaching. Coming into the fast right hander here of turn number 1. Obviously the car understeering quite severely at this point in time. Absolutely no wear left whatsoever on those tyres. Through the rest of the lap the car's actually quite manageable, but I don't think it's going to be too long now before we finally lose that last little bit of grip and tyre wear. Into the last corner here of Miyabi, Kyoto Park. That's not the last corner, is it? We've got this little tricky chicane here. One thing I did notice when I was setting this test up is you can't do this track in reverse for some reason, even though you do it in reverse on the extended version of Kyoto. I do wonder why that is, but we are just about to lose the tyre now. We'll just zoom on here, you'll just see that last bit of white sliver away, and that is the tyre now completely burnt out. Well, we're 7 to 8 seconds into lap number 12. That's going to be the benchmark for the wheel. This was the pad running, so 11 and a bit laps and we completely lost that tyre. Now we're not going to mess about too much here with the wheel. Obviously I've got a lot more experience of driving on the wheel, but you can see already as we approach lap number 11 here, we're not too far away from where the pad lost its tyre wear completely. We still have a reasonable bit of life left in that front left. So you can see already at this point there's definitely an advantage to using the wheel. And I've got to say I'm quite surprised just how much an advantage it was. I did expect there to be a little bit of a difference, but that's actually quite a big difference between the wheel and the pad. Now again, I should reiterate, I am not a pad player, so possibly a player who's more experienced on the pad would get slightly different results, but I did my very best to kind of keep the running as smooth as I could on the pad, so I don't think it's too far off where the tyres would be for the majority of players. So we'll just zoom in on the tyres here. This is the point where the pad ran out of tyre wear completely. Looks like we've still got about 25% here on the wheel, so that's a pretty huge difference. 25% over the course of a race is a significant advantage indeed, but we will have to see just how far we're going to get here with the wheel running before we do run out of that tyre. So we're back into our fast forwarding mode here, so not going to be too many more laps before that tyre is completely gone, but it will be interesting just to see how many more laps the tyres were capable of with the wheel and that slightly smoother running. So coming here to approach the end of lap number 15, we're very close now to the tyre giving up completely. This fast right hander here of the first corner, definitely the biggest killer on this track, that's for sure. Should just about see the tyre completely go. Understeering extremely wide here, you can see that the car become a bit of a handful. Lap number 15 there we actually made a mistake as well, so lap number 15 a very poor lap time, but we're very nearly there. It looks like that's it gone now, so a little over 4 laps more of wear with the wheel compared to the pad. So if ever you've kind of needed some confirmation that you're at a disadvantage on the pad, hopefully I've managed to provide that there, and I think we can say from this test that you've got an advantage of up to 25%. Now that won't be the case all the time. As I said, maybe somebody with a bit more experience driving on the pad would get much closer results than that. Of course, I think even if I was to kind of just practice enough with the pad, I could extend that tyre life a bit more. But I did do 2 runs on the pad and came out with very similar results both times. I also did 2 runs on the wheel, and on the second run on the wheel I did manage to get a couple of laps extra. So I think we could say the results, the conclusion, tyre wear on the wheel is up to 25% better compared to the pad. So if you're looking for a reason maybe to upgrade to a wheel, if you're looking to improve at GT Sport, maybe in the FIA races, then a 25% advantage in tyre wear is certainly not to be sniffed at. And as I said earlier on in the video, I'm quite surprised that the margin was as much as that. And it does make me maybe understand why a lot of players stick to race A and race B without that tyre wear in it. Maybe that is a good reason for not going into daily race C or doing the FIAs. Anyway, this was just a quick video, a little bit of fun. I wanted to put it together. I was actually going to do more tests because I thought I would maybe need to do a few more tests to come to a sort of more conclusive result, but I think that first test was so conclusive that there's really no need to do too many more tests. Again, it's not going to be 25% on all occasions, but on this occasion here, keeping everything as controlled as we possibly could. So obviously same car, same weight, same track, same braking points, same gears, and doing our very best to keep the car and driving smooth. We've come up with a result of 25%. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please do hit that like button, please do hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you made it to this point in the video, then thank you very much for watching, I do appreciate it. We'll just leave you with some running of the Z1 Camaro running around Miyabi here. Just what was quite interesting driving this car with the racing soft tyres was just how good it felt, to be honest with you. I think with very small alterations PD could convert this into a Group 4 car, which would be nice to see, but doesn't seem to be the way to do things. There's lots of road cars that they could convert into race cars with a few alterations, a little bit of change to the settings, fire on a wing, give it some downforce, and voila, we could have some more additional race cars like we used to in the old Gran Turismos, where you could put on a race kit and turn a road car into a race car. That's definitely a feature I'm hoping comes back into GT7. But I've rambled on enough here. The video is about to end. The Camaro's about to blow its tyres here and be completely done. Thank you very much for watching once again, and I shall see you on the next one. Goodbye now.